welcome to the AI4EU Cafe for live presentations around AI. The speakers are today Urszula Sobek from Fundingbox and Jordi Iparraguirre from EURid. EURid, I learned by now. EURid, not EURid. With the talk on discover how to get up to 10K, so 10,000 euro in the AI4EU Call for challengers, and how EURid uses AI. My name is Carmen McWilliams, and I'm the moderator and organizer of the cafe. I'm the director of the company Grassroots Arts and partner in the AI4EU project. So always in the beginning, hello everybody, thank you there. Thank you, you made it on this gray day. In my country it's gray, so great you're here. Here are my short rules. Like always, please take notice that the session will be recorded. No confidential information shall be shared in this cafe session. In this cafe, the speakers express their personal view and opinions. This is not necessarily the official AI4EU project opinion. So what is the cafe about? It's an online place which takes place regularly and where you meet and you can exchange knowledge and experiences. It's an online forum to gain insight into the European AI scene. So again, welcome, and please know that this is an interactive session. You may ask questions to the speakers, and there is on the right side a control panel, and there you can write down your questions, and I will read them after the presentations to the speakers. So feel free to ask your questions. And now we're coming to the highlight of today, to Urszula and Jordi. And I will first introduce you, Urszula, then you will make your presentation, and then I have the pleasure to introduce Jordi, and then he will make his presentation, and afterwards we have this Q&A session. So short, Urszula Sobek is project manager at Fundingbox Accelerator, Master of Economy by University of Information Technology and Management in Rzeszów, the Faculty of European Study. Since 2004, she has been involved in innovation, IT, R&D, and startup-related projects on national and international scale, obtaining over 30 million euros for external clients. Currently, she works as project manager in the AI4EU project and in the project ELISE, or ELISE. So now, welcome to you, Ola. Hello.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome, everybody.
Great. I will give now the moderator role. You may introduce your speech, and then, as we said before, Jordi is our next speaker. So, but now to you. Oh, great. I see it. Yes. Good.
Yes. Okay. So you can see my screen, right? Okay. So thank you, Carmen, for introduction myself. At the beginning, I would like to introduce also Fundingbox. So in AI4EU project, we are responsible for case kit funding management. And for this, we have proven track record. We have been in funding business since 30 years and with deep tech ecosystem since 10 years. So we know the tension, we know that funding is difficult and return on investment sometimes hard to achieve and not visible. So because of this, we had a solution for this. Fundingbox is a go-to-market platform for entrepreneurship by providing an ecosystem of funding opportunities, know-how, tech connection, and tools we can support you. We are also one of the largest European deep tech ecosystem. Fundingbox also provides solutions for corporates and investors to help identifying and integrate innovative startups and SMEs and matchmaking. For this, we have our own tools. It's Fundingbox platform with management tools and with tools which support community building. So far, we participated in 33 programs distributing 100 million euros And we also supported 420 startups and SMEs and accelerated close to 200 startups. But coming back to the open calls of AI4EU. So how a call will work? AI4EU open calls are based on challenges. This means that in the center of a process, in the heart, we have challenges. So first, we would like to look for challenges and then look for solution to the challenge by providing resources on AI4EU platform, mentoring support, and of course funding. We will help solution providers and challenge owners to solve their problems by AI under our support program. To make this happen, we will have two types of calls, so call for challenges, and today I will speak more about this call, and also we will have a call for solution, which will follow call for challenges. Under call for challenges, we would like to identify up to 13 challenges and support them by providing 10,000 euro per each. Under this call, we would like to, of course, support challenge owners in defining their challenge and in addressing using artificial intelligence tools and supported by solution providers. So under call for solution, we will look for 31 solution providers. The solution providers will receive up to 70,000 euro. Sorry, I lost my presentation mode. Carmen, can you help me?
Yes, I see your.
Okay, yes.
Now it's at a glance.
Yeah, okay, sorry for this problem. Okay, so under call for solution, we will look for 31 solution providers, and these providers will be working with our support to develop and validate and test their solution that will solve challenges. Both solution providers and challenge owners will enter the support program and will work together to find solution to the challenge. Okay, so call for challenges. The main goal of this call is to identify particular problems that can be solved using artificial intelligence. For this special call, challenge is defined as a problem with industrial or societal impact that can be solved by AI. And what's important, this problem should be replicable in the sector. We are looking mainly for challenges that help businesses and public sector to be more efficiently and to deliver innovation services to customers. Here, to better understand how the challenge will work, I can present you two types of challenges. So challenge could be both general and specific. The example of general challenge could be how to diagnose or predict evolution of disease based on AI data. Or in mobility sector, it could be how to predict maintenance or vehicles. When come into specific challenge, the example could be one of a challenge in manufacturing sector. So this challenge is defined as deploy a predictive algorithm capable to remotely anticipate motor breakdown on industrial mixers. So this is some specific challenge, but could be replicable because industrial mixers are used in pharmaceutical, chemical, or other sectors. Who can propose a challenge? Who can participate in our call? So we are open to any type of European industry end users. So it could be SMEs, mid-caps, large companies, and also AI4EU consortium partner. But note that if you are a consortium partner, you cannot receive funding. Important is the challenge owner must, besides idea, must provide the necessary elements to enable address the challenge. So this should be assets and data needed to develop the solution, technical support to participants of call for solutions, and potential adoption of the results by other end users. What we are offering for the best challenges. So best 13 challenges can receive up to 10,000 euro and can cooperate with solution providers under our support program. We also support challenge providers in the process of properly defining the challenge. Besides the money, we provide support from the consortium. We also provide developing at least a solution for the challenge for free. So each challenge owner will be working with at least 2 solution providers. We also offering visibility throughout AI4EU digital channels and events as AI4EU ambassadors. Here you can see the main criteria, selection criteria. So to be eligible to participate in the call, you must be one of industry end users. So again, SME, mid-cap, large company, or AI4EU consortium partner. You must come from one of EU member states or associate country. Your application must be submitted in English. You must use our online application form. The link to this application will be at the end of my presentation. You must do it before the deadline. There shouldn't be any conflict of interest. And what's really important here, you must assure ownership of set of data or the capability to generate a set of data needed for development solution to your challenge. And scoring criteria is divided into 3 main categories. So excellence, impact, and implementation. And the excellence section, external evaluators will evaluate how the challenge contributes to solving a problem of a sector and how this could level up the innovation on the market. Under impact, we will check what are the expected results of solving the challenge and how the challenge can be scaled to be useful for European Union as a whole. Under implementation, we will check your team and if you have resources required to support solution providers in solving your problem, your challenge. I would like to mention also that the challenges with impact on pandemic situation will be given extra score into our scoring. Okay, so when you can apply, the most frequent question. So the call is open, call for challenge is open now. You can apply until January 26th. There will have first cutoff date, and then you can also apply. The next deadline will be in the second quarter of 2021. You can apply using our Fundingbox platform. The link is here. And if you also are interested in applying in the call for solution, this call will be open just after selection of the first batch of challenges. So it will be open in February next year. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Urszula. Thank you very much. I'm coming back. One moment, my image. We would like that we answer the questions afterwards. So I would like to stay in the flow of making the presentations. But just one question, Urszula, one question. Whom you target as solution providers? Who shall be this? Anybody?
Okay, so solution providers could be any type of European industry. So it could be startups, SMEs, mid-caps, large companies, and also research organizations. So all of them can participate and call for solution to provide some solution to given challenges.
Okay, good. So I'm just passing on, and the questions, please write them down in the control panel. I will read them later to Urszula, and now we go on with Jordi. Hi, Jordi.
Zoom la porta.
Wait, one moment, you are not yet, I don't see you. Maybe you try to switch on your camera. Yes, perfect. So I want to introduce you first. Jordi Iparraguirre is a computer science. Say your name again. I'm so bad in this name.
Yeah, Iparraguirre. It's not easy.
So now, it's really sorry. Is a computer science engineer and holds an MBA. He has developed technical and executive functions in different countries for consumer electronics multinational. Former director of a small internet domain registry, now director of innovation at EURid, the registry of the EU domain. He's focused on developing and leading, amongst others, projects around data mining and machine learning. So I hand over now to you, the moderator role. I see already your slides, so please feel free to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Carmen, for this kind introduction. So yes, we're going to talk and explain what's EURid very briefly, and then how is that, and what do we do with artificial intelligence. So, well, the first one would be that we do artificial intelligence, a company that's a non-for-profit company, and how is that we are getting into that. And then we will give you just two short examples of things that we are doing right now. So it's basically the history of how we learned to stop worrying and love the artificial intelligence, something that was initially not foreseen and not expected, but we saw that it had really some value, and we decided to get into it. Who is EURid? Well, if you've ever seen any internet domain name that ends with a .eu, that's we. I mean, we are the registry that's behind all that in the Latin, Cyrillic, and Greek alphabets. We keep the registry. That means that we map the owner or the tenant of the domain with the domain itself, and then we allow all those things to work, ensuring that the infrastructure on the internet is there, ready to show, and the domains can be used. We are having around 3 to 7 billion domains under management. As mentioned previously, we are non-for-profit. We are based in Brussels with offices in Europe, in Prague, Pisa, and Stockholm. And we have less than 50 employees. So small company, small SME. How is that an SME like that, like us, doing in a place like that? I mean, how is that we got into artificial intelligence? Well, the main purpose of EURid is that we want to offer a trusted .eu space for end users, being those consumers, being those businesses, or whatever. And then to offer that, to achieve that goal, we thought that we could be using artificial intelligence, because that would be bringing us new tools and new benefits. In addition, that would mean that we would incorporate new know-how. We would be more skillful in certain new technologies, and then be more competitive to offer better and new services to our registrants, to the channel, and to the market. And at the end of the day, to master a technology that will be as pervasive and commodity as spreadsheets are today. So we have to be there, we have to understand it, and we have to know how it works. And if we can do it, much better. The question is, can an SME like us, a non-for-profit SME, do artificial intelligence? Well, yes, it's possible. We can do it. You do, of course, need certain resources. The first one is maybe willingness, because this is not something that you do in a weekend. So you need to meet a long-term effort and sustain that with resources, commitment, and management, and so. You need computing power, but hopefully the computers are more and more powerful every day, so it's there. We need also sources of data, and yeah, well, we are a digitalized company. We work with basically digitalized data, so yes, we have that information. Then it's a matter of finding the files, the permissions, who can access that, and how do we arrange all that information. Regarding software, if in the past to program a spreadsheet or database and all that, you have to start from zero. Nowadays, well, it's there. You have open source, you have zillions of libraries, and it's very easy to, or it's much easier to use. And of course, brain power. So to start with all that, we started cooperating with Leuven University here in Belgium, and then we employed one artificial intelligence engineer, so to growing slowly but continuously. And I just mentioned, I mean, this tweet is from a couple of 3 weeks ago, more or less. This is one of the engineers that's behind TensorFlow, one of the different platforms that are available for machine learning and so. And the advantage here, I mean, the main point here is that, well, that technology that on the last item says that they move, using that, they move from 16,000 lines of code to 44 to do a machine learning exercise. Well, that is ready there for free. There are lots of free training. Of course, you have training for a fee or paying training, but it's something that's available and ripe and ready, and it is already nowadays providing very good results. So it's a proven technology. It's available, it's free, just a matter of using it. But it's not just that. I mean, you need to know what to do with that. So that's why we started to cooperate with a university to start that transfer of knowledge. Well, straight to the point. The first example, an abuse prevention system that's using machine learning to try to detect abusive domain names. Let's see that. As mentioned, one of our main goals is to offer a safer and trusted .eu space to users, companies, and so. So not just to that, but also to increase the reputation of the .eu, and as a side effect, to attract more registrants and grow. So the point was, okay, how do we achieve that? How can we use machine learning, artificial intelligence to achieve that goal? Well, we thought about that. Let's try to detect abusive domain names, that is, domain names that are creating, domain names that are offering websites that we would not recommend to our relatives or friends or whatever, right? That's what we call abusive, because they are sending spam, or because they are malware, or because they are selling counterfeit products, or doing carding, or whatever. So the goal was, okay, let's try to compare the registration data of a new domain against a list of proven domain names and historical data we have. And then let's see if we are able to detect those abusive domain names before they get they are available on the internet. They go live on the internet. So that's why we developed, together with University of Leuven, that system, Abuse Prevention and Early Warning System. That joint project has, besides the product itself, which is already in production, has helped also to develop like 4 or 5 academic papers on those technologies. And as mentioned, it uses third-party intelligence on previously proven abusive domains. That is intelligence that comes from cybersecurity companies that can ensure, that can really tell you that that domain name was used for malicious use. And then combining all that via machine learning to come out with, a decision on the future of that domain. Besides that, we also use our own data, metadata, and historical know-how to complement all that. The system is retrained regularly because we need to cope with changes. You are able to catch one campaign of abusive domain names, but of course, those campaigns change, and we have to adapt to that. So it's not something that you just do once and it works forever. No, the system is regularly retrained to learn from the reality, what really happens. Those estimations of abuse, of future abuse, are done in milliseconds. So we are receiving a request to register a domain name, and in 1-2 seconds maximum, we have to decide what's going to happen with that domain name. Do we allow that domain to go live on the internet, or do we wait for that domain and verify the identity of the registrant? If the system thinks that this domain can be abused, there is the delegation, that is, the domain is stopped and it does not get live on the internet, right? So we had the system running as a prototype, not in production, for 1 year. And now it's in production since last January, so almost 1 year. During the prototype live, we were able to identify around 60,000 correct abusive domains. That means domain names that the system said, yeah, that domain name is going to be abusive in the future, is going to be misused in the future. But nevertheless, was a prototype, so we let the domain go live. And then later on, we were told by those cybersecurity companies, yes, that domain is distributing malware. Yes, that domain is sending spam. Yes, that domain is doing something that's not correct. So that helped us to train and improve the system. And then also during that time, we could learn about how the reality works, so adjust the models, the machine learning models, but also to convince the partners, the sales channel, because that's something, obviously that's something that's maybe a little bit critical. Okay, we are stopping the domain names before they get live on the internet. So you can imagine that your sales channel, in that case, the square in the middle, the registrars, were a little bit not happy about that initially because I said, okay, yes, I mean, I'm going to offer a domain to a registrant, and then you are going to evaluate with a machine learning system if that domain is going to be abused, and then the domain may not end up live on the internet. So what I'm going to say to the registrar and all that. So we had to overcome I wouldn't say the skepticism, but maybe the reluctancy of the channel to really use that problem. So it's more a political and a strategic problem than a technical problem. That was one of the things to overcome. Then also another one, as we are going to intervene on the reality, okay, we're going to stop domains that are going to be abusive. Is that going to change the behavior of the abusers? Are we going to start an arms race here? When is that going to stop? How far are we going to go? And so. And then, of course, internal research about the best attributes to really define and discover how to better identify those domain names. Here you have a very basic flow of the thing, right, of the process. We have a new domain name on the left, then Appius decides if Appius thinks that domain is going to be used without any issue, the domain goes live on its own, so it can be used on the internet. Otherwise, it goes to the legal department. The domain name is not live, and then people, and I really want to highlight that people at the legal department reviews that and asks the registrant for a proof of ID. It's important that there is people there because it's not just that we learn. It's just that we learned about the decision, so why that domain was stopped, but also because we consider that it's important to have a human interaction with the people that could be stopped, or the domains that could be stopped not to be on the internet, right? So regarding performance, what I want to highlight on that graphic is that the system decides if a domain, or proposes if a domain is going to be abusive or not in the future, right? So in fact, here you can see a couple of columns with lots of false positives. That's it. These are domain names that the system thinks that they are going to be malicious. But as we are not receiving any feedback from those security companies on the first days, they remain as false positive. Okay, we cannot confirm, we cannot deny it. Well, but we prefer to say, okay, they are false positive. And once those cybersecurity companies tell us that yes, this domain was caught doing something malicious, then we move that into for positive, right? But well, we have that window there. The point is that then once the system went live, okay, before going live, we had very good metrics about the capabilities of detection and all that. But as soon as we put that system into production, the metrics just dropped. Okay, and well, if you are aware, maybe you heard about the Schrödinger's cat, no, it's a quantum effect and all that. Here we have something similar. That's the Heisenberg's principle for domain. It's just a joke, a technical joke. But the point is that we cannot at the same time intervene on the reality and get the metrics we had in the past. Because basically what's happening here is that as soon as we put that system in production, okay, those domains that are going to be, or that were to be malicious in the future, most of them do not really get on the internet. So there is no one at the end of the process to close the loop and tell us, yes, that domain was malicious, or no, you were wrong, that domain was not malicious. So our metrics here change, and we are looking into other ways to measure the effectiveness of all that. So this thing works. Let's see, it's now 10 months that's working live in production, all that. So we decided, okay, let's make it bigger. Let's make it more complex and more interesting. Because certain issues cannot be detected before the delegation. That's what Appius does. So as we are already detecting allegedly abusive active domains that are already on the internet, okay, using rule-based system and other things. So okay, the question is, can we now use artificial intelligence to find those domains too, beside the rules? Are we able? Once we've learned about the rule-based system, how can we detect some of those? Can we convert that into a machine learning system? So that's where we are now. Right? For instance, this is a clone of a login page of a bank that we were able to identify. So that's where we are trying to look for these things automatically and using machine learning techniques. And here is the same graphic as before, but now we just are working on the dark blue square, implementing machine learning there. So, well, beside that, what we also do beside detection is to share the suspicious finding with third-party experts, okay, cybersecurity companies, police, and so. So we also get feedback and we learn from what the machine discovers, and well, there is much more information from everyone. So that was the first example. Now let's see the second example. The second one is about using machine learning to automatically classify web pages. Okay, and the question is, okay, why do we want to classify those pages? Well, basically to know how the .eu is used. I mean, do we have more pages about health, or about industry, or about education? We need to know how the domain is used. So we gain business intelligence, and we can also share that business intelligence with our channel registrars, so they can prepare campaigns and so on. So the idea here, the methodology was, okay, let's start to crawl the .eu websites, and then automatically translate the content to fit a classifier, okay, with classes that we are agreed with other TLDs, with other domains there. This one was not done with the university. This one has been done, it's being done only internally, and it's in an in-house development, so we are learning as we go, and we decided to do that on ourselves. So the different steps are those, okay? We crawl and collect the HTML pages. Then we just split them into low content, parking pages, default pages, and all that, and rich content, user-generated content, right? Then we translate those rich content pages into English. Well, why English? Because we had a bigger training set for English, and for the other languages, the training sets were smaller. So that's what we did. Well, as we have to cope with as many lots of different European languages, what we did, okay, we need to translate the pages. I mean, if the artificial intelligence training set is used only with English pages, what about other languages? So nowadays we are using Google Translate to do that translation automatically for us. And then the page in other languages gets translated into English, and then we feed the classifier, and then the classifier gives us the result of that. Besides Google Translate, we are now, during these weeks, implementing open source libraries that maybe you heard about, is Hugging Face. The point is here that we want to do those translations internally instead of paying a third party, like Google in that case, because one, first, it's expensive, and second, Google has a nice track of nowadays you have a service, and years later you don't have it anymore. So we decided to have it internally. On the low content pages, okay, those pages are usually very similar. Are the default ones, default Apache WordPress pages and these kind of things. And in fact, we are not using machine learning here. We're not using artificial intelligence. We're getting very good results with using keywords and fuzzy hashes. So, well, no need to increment the complexity. The translation, well, I've already mentioned that. The trainings that we had, the biggest one was in English, so we started to work on that. And we feed that into the translation, into the translating module if need be. The web page is not in English. And then the classification, that's a pretty fine set of categories that was agreed with other domains. Okay, so health, trade, construction, education, and so on. We have like 23 or 25 different classes. We built the training set from more than 50,000 manually classified pages that we outsource to other companies and so. But still, this is not enough for certain categories. Okay, some of the categories are really small, so you do not have enough examples to really have a nice classifier there. But anyway, this is what we have right now. This is an internal web page that we are having to test it and see how it works. So, for instance, if you feed the system with info-coronavirus.be, okay, then that page that was in Dutch or was in French gets translated into English and then gets fed to the classifier. And here the classifier is giving us the three main categories. It thinks that is healthcare with like 56 or so percent of probability. The second class is social, around 11%, and then legal and public security, like 3 or 5%. Beside the decision here of the classifier, we have a word cloud that is helping us to interpret why the system decided that that was the kind of content of that page. So these are not the most popular words into the web page. No, these are the most critical words that the classifier used to decide that that page belonged to that class. Okay, so it's a kind of interpretability of the decision. And then we also incorporated here on the right side a feedback loop. Okay, one is that we are going to have people using that beside machines. So if we have people using that, and okay, we want them to give us feedback about how good the system is, so the system can learn based on human feedback. So the main features beside the result is also that interpretability of the result and closing the feedback loop. Here you have another example, very briefly. It's the same song, it's almost the same. So this is the Europe.eu, so the European Commission webpage. And again, it depends on the kind of work. Okay, here we have social with the highest probability, and then legal and public security and business services and so on. It's interesting to note that that very same page during the spike of COVID in April was classified as health. Why? Because on the web page, there were lots of warnings and advices and links to pages that were, or content that was related to COVID. Okay, so this is something interesting to remember when doing that. And then finally, another one. Okay, we have a Wikipedia page on photovoltaics, for instance, and then it gets classified as science, education, energy. These kind of combinations are interesting. I mean, we decided that it's really not worth to give only one class, because even humans, we have an experience of 50,000 manually classified pages. Humans also have different viewpoints. So a page that someone can classify as straight, another one can classify it as a machinery. And it really makes sense because there are different viewpoints and the pages do not belong only to one class. Okay, this is not zoology, that one animal is defined very precisely. No, here you have different things to take into account. So the conclusions: yes, an SME can do artificial intelligence. We think that's important to partner with, in that case, our university that we have very close to our place, and start the knowledge transfer. So start a second project already with what you learned from that and so. The reluctancy that the channel had initially about having us using a machine learning system, well, was overcome, and we received an award from the German Association of the Internet Industry for using that machine learning system to detect abusive domains. And finally, maybe it's, well, let's just start small but really determined, because this is not a very short effort. This takes time, has to be refined, it has to be improved. So, well, we have to go there. So that's all on my side. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. I think this is a good example for an SME to use AI. This is, I think, the purpose also why we put it together here, the two presentations, ones where other SMEs have the chance to maybe test AI and use AI. And here we have already a good example. One direct question to you, Jordi. Will you participate in these open calls, and what would you do? Challenge or solution?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Are you participating in this? Do you want to participate in this AI4EU call, open call?
Well, I suppose, yes. I mean, we have to read the documentation. It seems that it's really open and there is maybe a place for us. So, yeah, chances are that we will join, of course. Yeah, if we can, we will do it.
Would you do a challenge or a solution?
Well, we don't know, because we have to think about if we're going to present the projects that are already there, the ones that I've just presented, or maybe we take advantage of that precisely to develop a new one, because we have different ideas. Now that as you move on, you better understand your business, you better understand the data you have and the things you can do. So you are having new ideas about other projects. So, well, it's something that has to be decided internally if we go with a new project or we present the current ones. an improvement of the current ones.
Okay, I think this is also why we have these two presentations. So basically, imagine yourself being an SME, you can participate in the challenge as well as in the solution. So just to open your bandwidth. And now to Ulla, I have questions to you. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. So here's like somebody patiently waited for answers. It's Jack Rubin. I hope you're still there, Jack. What he asked to your presentation, what does it mean replicable in the sector, and what is it? What is meant by replication?
Okay, so replicability, it means that the challenge and solving the challenge will give benefits not only to your particular organization, but can be replicable by other organization in the sector, by other company. It not means that they copy your idea, your solution, but may try to implement something similar or learn from you in using of AI.
Okay, and then the second part of his question is, what does multiple submission mean?
Oh yeah, this means that one organization can propose more challenges. So if you have a lot of problem to solve, you can propose all of them in our call. You are not limited to submit only one proposal. You can submit more of them. But what's important, you must assure that you have resources to work with solution providers to each of your proposed challenge.
Okay, thank you. And here, question of Joseph Baker Brunbauer. Does the challenge need to be placed within the applicant company, or can it be located at another company, or also at a public or government institution? Second part, need the application be employed within the challenge company?
Challenge providers can be any type of European industry. So if you would like to participate, you will take responsibility for this challenge and for implementation or working on this challenge. But of course, the final solution can be implemented in different places. It needs to be agreed, of course, with solution providers. These details need to be provided and arranged, but it can be implemented not only in your organization. If, for example, you will act as facilitator, it can be implemented in your network, in your cooperating organizations.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And another question directly to you. Sorry, again, multiple submission. So we know that. Hi to everyone. Thank you for such an interesting and well-structured presentation. This still goes to you, Ulla, because it was from timing, I see that. But also thank you to you, Jordi. Does the participation on the 70K call presupposes the participation in one of the 10K call? That's for Michael Striligas.
Okay, so what is the difference? I can understand correctly, right?
No, do you need to presuppose? I mean, do you first need to go to the 10K call and then participate in the 70 call? Does it presuppose?
Okay. So now first we open call for challenges, and it is 10,000 calls. So we collect challenges, and then we will look for solution to those challenges, and to solution providers who will develop some ideas to solve a problem, solve a challenge. We will give them 70,000 euros. Yeah, so you can't participate at the same time in both calls. So you can provide challenge or provide solution to the challenge.
I think that's the key. I mean, it would be nice that, I mean, I'm also an SME. I have a problem and I solve it. I mean, then I would get 80K, and that is, I think, not the idea. No? I mean, I bring a problem and somebody else solves it. No?
Yes, this is the idea. But problem can be provided by companies, organizations which don't have anything in common with AI. So they would like to start doing something with artificial intelligence. So that's why we're looking for developers from AI community to support them.
Yes. And now to Jordi, one more question. How do you think we can get more SMEs like you, like me, like Ulla, like us, involved? I mean, what will it make to involve more SMEs to use AI, develop, test AI? What do you think?
Well, there are many different conditions there, but maybe something that's important is that you have the time to really wonder about that possibility. So the day-to-day business is not just overwhelming you, and you have some time, for some people, some resources to really think about that, and then start thinking about the data. I mean, where is the data you are going to use? Is that public? Is that internally? Do you have to prepare it? I mean, is that easy to access? The formats and all that. So having time, having resources, having the data, or internally or externally, and then, as mentioned, having that mindset of it's going to be something that's mid-term, long-term. It's not a short thing, and well, compromise the resources to get there. Look for partners. I mean, sometimes it's not easy to find one engineer or having the resources internally. So look for a partner that will guide you through the process, as the company does. Okay, the university, the computing department was helping us. Okay, we would need this kind of information. Is that possible? Where can we get that? And then you get the internal view and the external view that complement very well and helps you to develop much better the idea and rounding it up to get the final product.
Okay, team up is your recipe and time, and that comes to of course my typical SME idea. Okay, I have a problem, and I'm gonna basically I just suddenly have a problem like you showed me before, and I ask you to solve it. This comes to the question here. What I want to say is I'm an AI4EU partner, and the question here comes also from another. Can I get money? The Maria Poveda Filalon asked the same thing. Could AI4EU partner be solution provider?
No, AI4EU partner cannot be solution provider. They can be challenge providers who can propose challenge, but cannot receive funding, can receive support, mentoring, access to resources, but cannot receive funding due to legal reason that consortium partner cannot be founded. Yeah.
It's clear that AI cannot be giving a challenge, can give a challenge but not be funded, right? And yes, can also not be, I mean, can be a solution provider but not be funded. Okay, no funding for AI4EU partner, right?
Right.
So right. Yes, okay. And then another clarifying again, I think I understood, but here comes from Maria Poveda Villalon. Can universities propose challenges?
Yes, yes, as long as they are AI4EU partners. Yes. Yeah, because what was asked by European Commission is that this call should be focused on European industry. So each European industry and IT can submit a challenge, and we also allow universities from our consortium, and there's a lot of universities here, so it depends.
So we understand universities from AI4EU can do it, will not get money, can do it. And then again, my directed question, can then, for example, also a PhD student team, student alone or team or research group, can they be solution providers, or do you have to be a company?
Well, researchers as individuals cannot participate in any of our calls, but they can participate as employees of research organization, because in call for solution, we also invite in this call research organizations. So all universities can submit a proposal, but no individual's application is allowed.
Okay, so that comes also back to Jordi. So for example, startups, yes. So if I'm a startup and also I would like to have an EU domain, yeah, make the bridge between us. There, Jordi is for the EU domain and maybe also inspired some kind of ideas what you could do. And then if I would be a startup, I could apply to the open call, right? I can apply as a startup to the open call, no?
Yes, you can apply for the call for solution because we assume that call for challenges is open for SMEs, mid-caps, large industry, and European consortium partner, European ELISE consortium partners. So no startups in this call, no startup as challenge proposer, but startups can be solution providers.
Okay, so now I think
complicated, yeah, I know.
all the different cases we have now through. Good. So there is still a possibility to quickly create a startup. And okay, now another question from outside. Stefan Dupont. How are solution proposals evaluated? Do relevant challenge providers take part in the evaluation?
How the challenge will be assessed, will be evaluated?
The solution.
Or solution?
Yeah, the solution proposals.
Okay,
the solution proposals will be evaluated.
Okay, the solution to the challenge. Well, this proposal will be assessed by external evaluation. We need to assure that this is done with transparency and with equal treatment, without conflict of interest. So it will be done by external evaluators. And at the end, we will have consensus meeting to discuss each evaluation, and challenge providers can participate, can ask questions to solution providers, but didn't have any right to vote.
Okay, good. Thank you. And now, Turia El Aken. Sorry for my pronouncing of names. I'm not yet really great in this. So, sorry for pronouncing it all wrong. How do you evaluate the challenges are relevant or not?
Okay, so we have criteria, a selection criteria, and we will do it using external experts. Again, following the Annex K and always rule of transparency, equal treatment, and absence of conflict of interest. So each proposal will be evaluated by 2 external evaluators. They will give scores from 0 to 5 to each criteria. And then we will get some average evaluation, and we will organize a consensus meeting to discuss the challenge and select the most suitable one, this one which have the highest scores.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. And I have, like, slowly we are coming to an end. There's another, we have all constellations now. Now comes another constellation. So just one more concentration. Neviana Bumbarova. She asked how you will decide who will solve a specific challenge. If the specified problem cannot meet a provider, are you going to search another provider outside the call?
No, the challenge providers will receive funding, will enter the support program only if we will find solution to the challenge. If somebody comes with solution. So it may happen that we select some challenges that will not be solved because nobody would like to solve a challenge. Nobody finds that this is possible or interesting.
Okay, then the challenge stays unsolved. Okay, I think here we are. I just want more, just to round it up, because I asked the same thing to Jordi before. Just in short, just once more to what would you say in very short, what you can provide an SME with? Jordi? I think Jordi.
Sorry. Sound is getting cut. Can you please repeat?
What, in short words, what can you help an SME or a commercial company? What can you help? What is your, do you help other companies?
Okay, if I understood, I mean, you mean in developing artificial intelligence solutions, helping companies and so?
Yes, exactly. 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 Yes, exactly
Well, I don't know, maybe just, I think that sharing our experience is the first step, saying that it's feasible, it's possible, even for a very small company. You can do that if you have the resources and you devote people and time. Initially, just a part of the time of the IT team, then you start engaging one special engineer on artificial intelligence and change the mindset of the company. At the end of the day, it's possible. I mean, we just want to give I wouldn't say the example, but just to say that yes, it can be done. It's possible. You don't need to be afraid of that. Of course, it's a new adventure, but that's where the fun is, right? I mean, discovering new things, developing new tools, and at the end of the process, having new services and new tools for your own company that helps you and helps your partners in business. So it's beneficial for all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And one last question for Ulla, and then we are coming to the end. Where are the relevance criteria defined?
Okay, so you can find all this information in our guide for applicants. When you use the link, which I include in my presentation, you enter the dedicated website and you will find the general rules of our calls and also documents dedicated to this call. So in guide for applicants, you will find all the information about the evaluation criteria, about the rules, about all the process, what happened before and after the selection.
Okay.
You can also suggest to go through our frequent asked question documents, and also you can find the link there to help desk on our ELISE platform. We have special discussion, special thread. So if you have any question, you can ask also there.
So if you have questions, AI4EU.org is our website. So just Google AI4EU and you will come there. It's super easy, and then you get the open calls. So thank you very much for today. This was great. Thank you for your efforts to make your presentations. And now we will say goodbye. But before we say goodbye, we announce that we have another web cafe coming up. And that's always the last thing. Please join us next week on December 9th. This time it will be, it will be Kiwei Han, and he's assistant professor of data science and business analytics at Nova School. And he will give us also a hands-on talk, the effect of product placement on shopping behavior at the point of purchase. Evidence from randomized experiments using video. So very hands-on AI applied problem. And so thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. And if you have more questions, you just write me back. You have my email because I send you all the time invitations. So write back and I will distribute the questions to the speakers. Thank you and bye-bye, Jordi. Bye-bye, Ulla.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice afternoon. Bye.